Namaskar and welcome to another episode of Beyond Headlines. Acha, Beyond Headlines, like we always say, is a joint venture with HW News and the public. We have Mr. Anand Vardhan, who is the expert on one of the best political analysis that I know. Anandji, before I get into this program, let me tell you something. You see, आजकल क्या होता है मालूम है आनंद जी, a lot of people, when they speak to me, when they ask me कि what do you think about Uttar Pradesh, and one says that we think this is happening, this is what I think. The next question they ask me is, भाई आनंद जी का भी वही है opinion. So a lot of people who speak to me wants to know your opinion more than mine. So that's how it is at the moment, Anand ji. But let's talk about phase 3 and phase 4 of Uttar Pradesh. Before I get into Uttar Pradesh, Anand ji, and before I hand over the mic to you, I want to talk about February 14th elections of Goa and of Uttarakhand. Now, Goa, as we all know, 40 seats. The incumbent government is Bharatiya Janata Party. There was supposed to be a lot of anti-incumbency against Bharatiya Janata Party. But then the fact is that doesn't mean that therefore Bharatiya Janata Party may be outstated, Bharatiya Janata Party may be shown the door. The chances are the opposition vote has split in Goa between Congress, Trinamool Congress and the AAP. Acha. Now one more thing which is interesting, Singh Saab, here is, unlike in Uttar Pradesh, where it is either BJP or Sapa, wherein you have BJP voters, anti-BJP voters going and voting for Sapa. The BSP element, we will talk about it in more detail, but broadly, in Goa, that may not have happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It may not have happened. The vote still may have split between Congress, AAP and Trinamool Congress. This is as far as Goa is concerned, 40 seats. Now let's get to Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is interesting. Uttarakhand is interesting is because Uttarakhand 70 seats, 35 to get the majority, and last time around Bharatiya Janata Party had got 50 out of the 70 seats. Acha, now most of the opinion polls in Uttarakhand gave Bharatiya Janata Party a clean sheet. They said, Bharatiya Janata Party is going to sweep the polls. Now that doesn't seem to be happening in Uttarakhand. As far as the ground reports are concerned. Now, the chances are it may not be that easy for Bharatiya Janata Party. Not only that, it may not be that easy for Bharatiya Janata Party. A lot of people who are on ground also say that chances are Bharatiya Janata Party may not make it, may not get the majority in Uttarakhand. So this is as far as Goa and Uttarakhand are concerned, Singh Saab. I will hand over the mic to you for you to take us through phase 3 and phase 4 of UP elections. Let's start with phase 3.
Phase 3, we have 19 districts and we have about 59 seats in phase 3. These 19 districts, these 16 districts, I'm so sorry. 16 districts. Yes. I call it a cocktail of 3 different regions. We have 5 districts of Western UP, different in taste, different in behavior. We have 5 districts of Bundelkhand, absolutely different problems, different answers. And we have 5 districts of Central UP, or you call it a Awadh region also. So they have their own way of thinking, they have their own problems, they have their own grievances, all this. Now, these 16 districts is once upon a time was the stronghold of Samajwadi Party and Mulayam Singh Yadav. He started his career from here. He's born and brought up in this area. Etawah falls in this. Kannauj, from where Akhlesh's wife was an MP. Mulayam Singh is from Manpuri. He's an MP from Manpuri. Things like that. So this is the stronghold of, you can say, Mulayam Singh Yadav ji and Akhilesh Yadav. Now, having said that, in phase 1 and phase 2, we all know and we all have seen that it was a very formidable combination of Jat and Muslims, and it has worked. Up to what extent it has worked, we will come to know only on 10th, but it has worked. People may debate that, someone may say that it has worked up to 51%, someone may say 60%, 70% of the total seats, but it has worked. In phase 3, the interesting part is because it is being the stronghold of this Mulayam Singh Yadav ji and Samajwadi Party. Out of 16 districts, 9 districts are there which have a Yadav majority in that. Like, we'll talk of a Karahal seat from where Akhilesh Yadav is fighting. It is estimated that about 1.5 lakh of Yadav voters are there. 1.5 lakhs. Now, wittingly, unwittingly, there are things which is happening in favor of Akhilesh Yadav, I must say. Initially, no one was in a mood to fight Vidhan Sabha elections, none of the CM candidates. But it started with the BJP. BJP said, no, Yogi Adityanath ji will fight his elections and fight from his hometown, that is Gorakhpur. And then BJP challenged Samajwadi Party that why don't you also, your CM candidate also fight election? Akhilesh Yadav took some time. He took 2-3 days. He said, I will talk to my people. And then he decided on Karahal. Now, Karahal is one of the Vidhan Sabha segments of Manpuri Lok Sabha, from where Mulayam Singh Yadav ji is an MP. So, it is a very safe seat. But if Akhilesh is fighting from Karahal, it will have a wider effect on the nearby seats. So, tactically and technically, Akhilesh is going to have Akhilesh fighting election will improve the chances of other Gathbandhan candidates, because out of these 59 seats, Sapa in their own fort had won only 8 seats. 49 was won by BJP in the last 2017 elections. So Sapa, if they want to take the power of UP, if they want to become the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, then they must win their own home. That is this phase 3. And apparently, it is working well for the Gathbandhan and especially for Akhilesh Yadav. We have seen from 2-3 things, indications I will just share with you. Recently, you might have seen there was a video from the Kanpur rally of Prime Minister. The rally, initially that video shows that Chief Minister is sitting on the dais and there is no one. No one in the sense there are empty chairs. And then when Prime Minister comes, those chairs are filled and things like that. Then there are indications that Lakhimpur Kheri, the phase 4 election, Chief Minister has cancelled his scheduled meeting. On the ground, the reason has been told that LIU has sent the report that there might be some demonstrations by Kisans. So these are not good signs as far as the BJP is concerned. So phase 3, Akhilesh, without any major support of any other caste or any other leader like Jat or Muslim or Rajbhar or Patels or anyone, he's fighting on his own. And I always say that he has to win this phase 3 if he wants to become the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh.
The first 2 phases, it was all hip hooray and, SP doing very well. Phase 3 onwards, people are questioning now whether will SP be able to do 120 more? Will SP, be able to will maintain the same speed, the same rhythm? Why is this questioning happening all of a sudden, sir?
No, because it is happening because in this phase 3, which was supposed to be the stronghold of Samajwadi Party, Sapa, in the last election 2017, Sapa out of 59 had got 37 seats from here.
Correct.
And from 37, and it is their home ground. From 37, they reduced to 8 seats. And I will now share with you the reasons what has happened, in my opinion. One, the entire Yadav clan was fighting within themselves. Shivpal was fighting separately. Mulayam Singh and Akhilesh Yadav, though they were father and son, but they were not so united. There were, I mean, Akhilesh has, in a way, has displaced Mulayam Singh as the national president of the party. All this was happening. So there was a bickering and there was a fighting in their own family. So that worked against them. Number two, 2012 to 2017, a major grievance of the backward community was that whatever larges and whatever benefits of a government was passed only to the Yadav community. So Yadav community versus rest of backward, BJP was able to set that narrative that Samajwadi Party is only a party of Yadavs. They are not bothered about the other backwards, and so the other backwards walked with Bharatiya Janata Party. This time, Akhilesh Yadav has taken care of both these things. Number one, his family is one now. They are fighting. I mean, they are fighting together. It is there. Shivpal is conversing for Akhilesh and Karahal and things like that. Number two, Akhilesh in ticket distribution is very careful in selecting the candidates as far as the Yadav and Muslims are concerned. The numbers are much smaller. The number of candidates as compared to the 2017 elections or 2017 elections, the numbers have come down. As per their representation, it is okay, but it has come down. Number two, Akhilesh has shown himself as someone who is a leader of backwards, which Mulayam Singh was. Mulayam Singh, throughout his career, was a leader of a lot of caste. Because he had Brahmins with him, he had Rajput with him, he had scheduled caste, Ramsundar Das Sahab. I mean, he had a lot of people with him. He was able to carry all these castes. Now, for the first time, Akhilesh is now trying, and I don't know how much successful he will be, but yes, he is not only a Yadav leader, he is establishing himself as a backward leader as well.
So if that is the case, if things are going so good, then why this question mark? Why is this fear, Singh Sahab?
No, I will tell you the thing. This is the way BJP fight elections. This is the way BJP fight elections. I was in a marriage. I mean, yesterday also. Every day there is a marriage. This is the marriage season.
Achha.
Now, general perception is you go to a marriage, you meet a lot of cross sections of people, because people come from all the places and things like that. No, general perception is, अरे वो आएगी बीजेपी ही, बनेगी बीजेपी ही की सरकार. That is a general opinion, because when you talked of Goa, as you said, 19 seats. Goa originally BJP had 13 seats.
Correct.
The 3+3 who later on became NDA partner.
Correct.
Had it been, if Congress has played their card well, they might have gone the UPA way, I will say. So somehow they have proved themselves that if they don't come in power by majority, they can make or break governments. They have proved themselves in Karnataka. They have proved themselves in Madhya Pradesh. They failed to prove in Maharashtra. But otherwise, they have been very successful in all these places. So a general perception which BJP is playing, no, this two phases, yes, we did badly, but now the phases are coming where we are very strong. I'm again reminding people, phase 5 and 6 and 7, and especially 6 and 7 is going to be the Waterloo of BJP, because it is Eastern UP.
Correct.
It is Eastern UP. People are, I mean, they are fed up with this. The mehengai, the berozgari, the corona mismanagement, the chutta janwar issue, as I told you. I mean, all these things together, it is something which people are fed up. So 6 and 7 are might be much tougher than what it was phase 1 and phase 2. Yes, phase 3, Akhilesh Yadav has to prove that he is a leader in his own area. That Akhilesh Yadav only can prove.
Before I go into phase 4 and before we talk about BSP, I want to learn from you about this Chutta Janwar issue. For us in Maharashtra, Mumbai, especially this part of the country, we just can't perceive this to be as this being such a big problem. Can you explain this problem to us, Singh Sahib?
Actually, this Chutta Janwar recently has come into, I mean, Chutta Janwar, everywhere Chutta Janwar is an issue. Chutta Janwar is a thing when a cow becomes unproductive, when it stops giving milk, then it is said, then what to do? Because and I'm talking of the local cows, cows not hybrid, the local cows, primarily the local cows. There might be hybrid as well, but the numbers are local cows. Because in villages, you must understand, for their own needs, lot of villagers keep a cow which might be giving half a liter or maybe 1 liter of milk every day. Just half a liter, 1 liter, not more than that. Maybe 1.5 liter. They are not hybrid breed cows. Now, what happens? Generally, they are not given any chara or anything. Generally, they are not fed. They are they are on their own. Evening time, the master goes there. He brings that cow to his house, milk them, and then again they are on their own. But once they stop giving milk, then these cows are of no use. Before 2017, there was a cow trade. There is absolutely no doubt about it. And we must remember that this slaughterhouse and everything in India, 80 to 90% are run by Hindus. This is also a fact. But there was a trade, which after 2017, this has become difficult. I mean, no, today, even you cannot move your own, it is very difficult to move your own cow from one place to another district through a mode of conveyance. Because the police is very strict, the laws have become like that, I mean, cows is a protected animal now. Technically, it is said there are gaushalas where they will be taken care of, all these unproductive cows, but on ground it is not happening because the gaushalas are also not equipped to handle so many unproductive cows. So the best thing available to all these villagers are, once they become unproductive, they are driven off. When they are driven off, all these unproductive, especially cows, move in a herd. They move in a group, and they have to eat something. They have to eat something. They have to be fed. So no one is feeding them. So the most available thing for them is the crop which is standing in the field. So today the menace is such that for last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, an average farmer has to sleep in his field to protect his crop. Because if this group of cows come, maybe in half an hour, maybe in 1 hour, the entire crop has gone. So that is a menace, and government may say that you cannot sell it to someone, you cannot move it. But what is the solution? Someone has to come with the solution also, which no one has the solution.
That's actually a big problem. Actually, if you go to see it, it may sound very, very trivial, but it's a big problem. As I think, let's go to phase 4. Phase 4 is where you have been saying that BSP is going to play a vital role. I have 2 questions for you. Question number 4 is give us a understanding of phase 4, and question number 1 is give us an understanding of phase 4. Question number 2, Singh Sahab, tell me this BSP. See, we have always been saying that this is, and I've said it in the starting of the program also. Somewhere down the line, here it's either BJP or anti-BJP vote. Anti-BJP vote goes to Samajwadi Party, because we have seen even Asaduddin Owaisi was just not able to take off in Uttar Pradesh this time around. Now, how come BJP is holding on to its vote? Why doesn't that happen when it comes to how is BSP holding? My apologies. How is BSP holding on to its vote? Why doesn't this happen when it comes to BSP?
Now, first we talk of the phase 4. Now, phase 4, we have 9 districts. Now, these 9 districts are Pilibhit, Lakhimpur, Sitapur, Lucknow, Hardoi, Unnao, Raebareli, Fatehpur, Banda. So, right from Pilibhit up to Sitapur, which is the area which is affected by the Teni Mishra's son incident, where four farmers were mowed down and eight people lost their life. His son got bail recently. It is going to affect at least 35 seats. The farmers are angry. The general people are angry that how you can just run up over the people who are going on the road. People are angry. Now, this is one. The second part is, out of these 9 districts, there are 4 districts in which you have more than 30% scheduled caste votes. 30% scheduled caste votes. There are 2 districts where you have more than 25% scheduled caste votes. I'm not telling 10%, but the majority of scheduled caste vote today it goes to BSP. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Someone may contest that it is only 80%, someone may say it is 60%, someone may say it is 90%, but majority, I will always say, goes to BSP. There is absolutely no doubt on that. Now, a place like Pilibhit, where Varun Gandhi is there. Varun Gandhi and the relationship between the current BJP leadership, be it center, be it state, is not very well. So, how those people are going to behave and vote is to be seen. Then comes to Lakhimpur. Lakhimpur is a district where BJP got 8 seats out of 8 seats. It was a clean sweep for BJP. This time, this is the place where Teni's son allegedly, I mean, it is to be his jeep run over that infamous, I will say, 3rd October incident where 4 farmers were mowed down. Now, that has 8 seats and it has 25.53% of scheduled caste vote, 20.8% of Muslim votes, and 2.35% of Sikh votes. Roughly, I will say, about 48-49% of these votes who are somehow are not comfortable with BJP. Maybe some part of scheduled caste vote might go there, but at least these people are not at all happy with them. I'm not talking of the other castes. So this is going to be tough. This phase 4 also has Raebareli. Now, out of the 75 districts, Raebareli, at least one can say that Congress has some ground. Though Congress is going to do well in that phase 3, Kanpur 2 seats, but otherwise, in general perception, this is the place from where Mrs. Sonia Gandhi is the MP. So, Raebareli. Why I'm telling you this is, these are the places where BSP is vote-wise is strong. BSP in these places, out of 59, 52 seats was won by BJP in the last elections. BSP was number 2 in 16 seats. 16 seats. So this is an area where BSP is strong. And as far as your number 2 question, that why BSP is not in the reckoning as Samajwadi Party, in my opinion, BSP started late, number 1. Number 2, somehow BSP is being seen as someone who can go with BJP. That is also a problem, because we have discussed this in past also. There are only 4 parties in the country who have never been a part of NDA. NCP of Sharad Pawar Sahab, Rashtriya Janata Dal of Lalu Yadav Sahab, Mulayam Singh Yadav, Samajwadi Party, and Congress. So they have never gone with NDA. So the minority vote, they have thrown their weight behind Samajwadi Party. There is absolutely no doubt on that. Now, correct. As far as the anti-incumbency vote, people have their own grievances. People are angry. Maybe X, Y, Z reasons. We will not discuss that. Which party to vote? The problem is, I don't want to vote BJP. Where to vote? So about 3 months back, the only alternative to an average voter, he looked here and there where to vote. It was only Samajwadi Party, which he felt that they are going to give a tough fight to BJP. So Akhilesh Yadav had that advantage. Mayawati ji started her campaign very 30 days back, about maybe a month back. So by then, people have already decided, a vast majority of people have decided that if I want to give vote against BJP, then who is going to my first preference? And as I told you, the minorities have a doubt that Mayawati ji might go with BJP if there is a split verdict or something like that.
My last question, Singh Saab, before I end this show, my last question is, does Bahujan Samaj Party today represents Bahujan Samaj? Do they represent Bahujan Samaj? Because they seem to be now transforming into a Brahman party, Mishra party. So Brahman party, Mishra is a Brahman, so Brahman party. So do they still represent the Bahujan?
Actually, Bahujan, in true sense, was not only scheduled caste. When Kashiram Sahab was leading this party, they had Rajbhars, they have Mauryas, they have all the other backwards other than Yadavs. Majority of the backward caste was with this BSP. Apna Sonilal Patel, all these. I mean, it's all the caste leaders of UP at some point of time had been with BSP. So, in true words, it was a Bahujan Samaj party. What happened? Slowly, it has become a scheduled. I mean, their core voters now are scheduled caste. They have other castes also, but the core voters are scheduled caste. No, they are there. I mean, they have not left Mayawati ji, I must say. The majority, as I initially said, the majority of the scheduled caste voters are sticking still with BSP. Now, as far as the Brahmin part is concerned, in 2012 elections, 2007 elections, that was a very nicely stitched combination where Mayawati ji brought Brahmins together, and Brahmins thought that this is some condition where we can also be a part of the power, because after 89, Narayan Dutt Tiwari ji was the last Brahmin chief minister of UP. There has been no chief minister. So no chief minister, and one of the reason of BJP not doing well in 2022 is Yogi Adityanath has been declared as the next chief minister if BJP comes to power. So Brahman feels that again for next 5 years we don't have any hope. So Mayawati ji in 2007 got that idea, and she fielded a lot of Brahmin candidates, and it worked. It worked. Today, somehow, Mayawati ji is only represent herself as a leader of that scheduled caste people. She has her own style of politics. She don't interact. She doesn't do off and on. I mean, she doesn't participate. She doesn't have off and on press conferences. If the press conference is there, may not be you will not be allowed to ask questions and things like that. She doesn't releases in manifesto, things like that. So I feel, but one strong point having said that, BJP is talking of law and order, law and order, law and order. But you talk to an average people as a person from UP, as far as the law and order is concerned, people consider that the best government, the best party who is very good on law and order was always BSP. They score very high on law and order.
Why specifically, Singh Saab?
During Mayawati's regime, there is absolutely no doubt about it that she was very tough. She was very tough. I mean, the police never had the free run what we have seen in last 5 years. 2007 to 2017 to 2022 is a dream run for any police department in Uttar Pradesh. To the extent that 2 IPS officers were so thrilled that they left their IPS job and they are fighting elections on the BJP ticket. Correct. So you can understand the state of affairs. They have resigned. They have Correct. Resigned. They have not retired. They have resigned, and so there was a free run. During Mayawati's regime, she was absolutely strict. Any complaint of any police officer, she was very tough on that. During Samajwadi Party, that 2012 to 2017, a general perception went on that it is a gundo ki sarkar, or Mussalmans are given some due weight. I must remind people that people forget all these things. 2012, when this election was, people were talking of planning and things like that. Akhilesh Yadav denied entry of DP Yadav, one of the muscle man of Uttar Pradesh politics. And that was the turning point from where Akhilesh Yadav, from where Samajwadi Party took a turn and they came into power. So Akhilesh Yadav coming to power was by denying entry to a muscle man.
Correct.
So this is again a narrative, I will say, very successfully created by BJP. ये गुंडों की पार्टी है, उतनी गुंडों की पार्टी कोई भी होती है, but on the law and order, Mayawati has proved to be the best in all the 3-4 parties which have been governing Uttar Pradesh for last 30-35 years.
So that's what the analysis is. Broadly, to conclude, Singh Saab, what you're essentially saying is next 5 phases that are left going to be crucial. No, anybody's game even now. It could be anybody's game. BSP is going to play a vital role, unlike a lot of people think. It is going to play vital or not vital. That's a question that one needs to see, but it's going to play a role. And the fact that this time, according to you, Singh Saab, SP has corrected all the wrongs which they had not during 2017. So the chances are that wrong should kick in now, and all those rights actually should kick in now and help SP. That's a fabulous conclusion. Let us hope.
I would just like to conclude with this. At times, people, I can see the remarks. People feel that I always try to tell the government that they are doing this thing wrong, that thing wrong. If the government is of BJP, I will ask questions from the BJP government only. But having said that, I must say that BJP, the last hope is phase 3 and phase 4. If BJP is not able to regain this or stay where they are, then it is curtain for them as far as rest of the election is concerned.
So very interesting. You're saying watch out for phase 3 and phase 4. If phase 3 and phase 4 goes for BJP, BJP has a very strong chance. Okay, this is a good one. So BJP has a very strong chance to come back, phase 3 and phase 4. If phase 3 and phase 4, that is what's going to happen tomorrow, starting tomorrow, that doesn't work, then BJP will have a tough time. Thank you so much, Singh Saab. This is a very interesting conversation, as always, enlightening one. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.